Welcome to the Lovestead.
Hello, welcome back to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica, and this is a weekly reading vlog. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. This is my cat, Elle. He is a very good boy. In one of my recent vlogs, it was my Beartown vlog to be precise. If you haven't seen it, bing, there it is. I asked for some feedback about reading vlogs and what you wanted to see from my reading vlogs in specific, whether you wanted me to continue doing them as I've been doing them or change formats up or not do them at all. And I got a lot of feedback that said you really enjoyed the way I'm already doing them. So here we are. We're going to go back to my original style. Why change a good thing, I guess. And today is Monday, March 14th, and I'm currently reading a lot of books because lately I've been a bit slumpy. I've only read 2 books in March so far, which is like a very low amount for me. So right now I'm reading a lot of different books, but the one that I'm trying to focus on and finish is Exile by Shannon Messenger. This is a book I'm reading for middle grade March, and it's the second book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. It's about Sophie, who finds out that she is an elf, and she has to leave her human family and go live in the elfin realm. And in the second book, she's learning more about why she exists, and she's learning about her powers and her magical abilities, continuing the friendships that she started in book 1. And I read the first book for Middle Grade Monthly Book Club back in January of 2021, and I enjoyed it. It has some issues, like some writing issues, sure, but I really liked it. It had such an immersive quality about it, and I just felt like I was a little kid again watching this, or not watching this, but reading the book. And when I picked up book 2 this month, it's been over a year, right, since I've read the first one. And a lot of times when that happens, I have to almost reread the first book to refresh myself on who's who and what's happening. When I picked up book 2, I remembered very easily all of the characters and the plot line and stuff from book 1. And that's not to be like, oh, look at my memory, ha ha ha, but more so to be like, great job, Shannon Messenger. Like, she really created some characters that stuck with me for over a year without having to reread it. So I was able to kind of jump back into the world, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I am 60% of the way through, and this book is a lot darker and a lot more emotional than the first book. The first book is like very adventurous, a standard book in the first in a series, right? Setting up the world, getting to know the characters. Yeah, just very adventurous and fun. And this one feels very dark and heavy. There's some things happening to one of the characters that is absolutely heartbreaking. And the feelings around this situation are so heavy and so dark. And for a middle grade, I mean, it's nowhere near as dark as some of the stuff I read in my adult fiction. But for a middle grade, it's really heavy and emotional. I am enjoying it. I do feel like it is just as immersive as the first book. And it's going really fast considering it's like almost a 600-page book. I'm getting through it really quickly. So that's what I'm currently reading, what I'll continue to work on here today. It's like 3 p.m. today, and I have lost control of the day. I don't know where the time is going. I have been trying to get some work done at work, and it's just, it's not happening. It's just not happening. I'm just having one of those days where like I feel like I'm making forward progress, and then I look back at the amount of emails still in my inbox and it's like, nope, I made 5% progress. I still have so much yet to do today. I'm feeling a little bit stressy about it and like not looking forward to tomorrow, because what it means is I'm going to be up late tonight and I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I'm sorry, I keep complaining about my job. I feel like in every blog, I'm just complaining about my job, and I need to stop that. Like, I have a good job. I like my boss. 60% of the time, I like the work I do, which is more than what a lot of people can say. I'm never going to love a job. It's just not going to happen. I'm never going to love a job. I like my job. It's the right job for me. And you know what? You don't have to love or feel super passionate about a job to know that it's the right job for you. I'm just putting this out there because I can just feel all these people coming like, find your bliss, find your passion, chase your joy. I'm like, I'm never going to get joy from a job. Okay, I'll just put it out there. This job is as close as it's gonna get. So I will make a concerted effort to stop complaining about work so much and just tell you that I'm working a lot right now and let it be that. So today I will work until about 4 o'clock today, which is 45 minutes more of work that I can do. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm going to my riding lesson, horseback riding lesson. For those of you who are new, I got into horses this past year, and so I have a quarter horse named Dolly, and I am learning to ride her. I'm not great at it, but it's been really fun to learn. So I'm doing that at 4. I usually get home from the barn then around 7, and at 7 I'll probably have some dinner, finish up my work for the day, and who knows how long that will take. Once work is done for the day, I'll get back to reading. That's Monday's plan. Howdy, I am sort of on my way to my riding lesson. I got part of the way there and then realized I didn't bring my riding boots with me. So I had to turn around and get those. And then when I got home, I was like, well, I'm running late, right? Which is fine. So my riding lesson isn't until 6, but I usually leave around 4, and then I get there at 4:30, and then I clean their stalls, and then they bring the horses in around 5:30, and then I let my horse have dinner for like half an hour, groom her in her stall, get her tacked up, and then we do the lesson at 6. So like I've got plenty of time before my lesson yet. I don't like disruptions in my routine. It makes me feel all scattered and like my day is thrown off. And then I do things like I just did today, and I forgot to feed myself. After I picked up my riding boots, I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't eaten anything yet today, and I'm starting to get hungry, and I don't want to get shakes in the middle of my riding lesson. So I'm at a gas station right now, and I just got a Lunchable that I'm going to eat here before I head over. So I got a Lunchable. Hopefully it doesn't give me salmonella. And then I got veggie straws. And a squirt, which is like my favorite soda. And I got myself flowers, just because. They're in my hydro flask right now because I didn't have any other containers with water. And I don't want them to go bad, like during the 4 hours or whatever that I'm at the barn. So yeah, anyway, while I'm snacking here, I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing with Miss Dolly. So like right now, Doll and I are just working on, like, literally I get on her and we walk for a bit and then I get off, and like that's the lesson. I'm learning how to use leg cues and stuff with her, and because like the goal is that I'm able to ride her and do all the things without having to use the bridle and a bit. That you should be able to ride your horse and cue them just with your legs. You shouldn't need any tack at all. Like, you shouldn't need a saddle, you shouldn't need a bridle, you should be able to do everything just with your legs. So like I'm literally just getting on her, walking for a bit, practicing leg cues, and getting down. And another reason for this is both me and Doll are really out of shape. It would be one thing if I was like a 12-year-old girl who weighed 75 pounds and I was getting up and riding her.
but I am not that. I am not exactly a lightweight. And I don't remember how long it's been since she worked consistently. She did buffaloes. So she worked on farms and ranches and did buffaloes. So she was working consistently, but I don't know how long it's been since that. So she's probably pretty out of shape. And we need to build up both of our strength and balance. And so one of the best ways to do that is to just do little bits at a time and just to take it nice and slow. So walking, that's what we're doing. We're getting up, we're walking, we're getting down. I don't know if I'll be able to share a whole lot of like my actual lessons with you because my trainer and his wife that are always there, who I adore, they don't really use social media. I don't think they'd be super comfortable with me posting videos of them. And so, I mean, they're on Facebook, but like not a lot, you know? So I don't want to be disrespectful of them or anything like that. So I don't know how much of my lessons and stuff I'll ever be able to show you, but when eventually Dolly and I do start doing trails, that I will be able to show you. All right, Lunchable has been consumed. This has been your check-in from your friendly neighborhood neurodivergent. I know that a lot of my fellow neurodivergent friends here on the tube will understand the chaos of this day. All right, gonna head to the barn now. It is 11 p.m. and I got back from my writing lesson at about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Roberta got us Jimmy John's for dinner, and then I've just been up here working. I watched the news for a bit because I like to try to stay on top of what's going on in the world right now. It's scary times. Writing lesson was hilarious. My lessons have been inside an arena because it's freezing cold in Iowa, you know, through most of the winter, and it's finally starting to feel like spring out, and it's pretty nice out. So he had me take Doll out on a trail and just walk by her. So I didn't ride her. I just led her by the lead line and walked with her the trail. And she was just bonkers. Oh, she was bonkers. She was distracted by every sight, sound, and smell out there. And she was like a completely different horse. And it's like, oh man, we have to start all the way over again with ground manners outside, because she's totally different outside than she is in the arena. We got back to the arena and I did some groundwork with her in the arena, and she was like little Eeyore pouty face. Miss Pouty Face wanted to go back outside. She absolutely loves being outside. She's just too funny. Like, she wanted to get out and go, 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 go. Like, she wasn't having this just walking business. She just thought the walking business was just stupid. So, you guys, I swear this horse is going to kill me. She's going to unalive me by the time I actually ride her on a trail. But, hopefully more training will just, more training. Oh my goodness. Anyway, like I said, it's 11 p.m. and I still have a little bit more work that I need to do. And then hopefully, before I go to bed, I will get some reading done of Exile. Hello, it's the next morning, Tuesday, March 15th. I got done with work around 1 a.m. last night, and then I read for a while till like 2. And something that I'm really enjoying in Exile right now is how Sophie just lives on this animal sanctuary with Grady and Edeline, and like how they just are taking care of animals, and like that's her life. And she has found an alicorn, which is like a unicorn Pegasus kind of creature. And so she's got the alicorn at Grady and sorry, I don't know what my cat's doing, at Grady and Adeline's house, and they are trying to train the alicorn, and so like she's taking horse riding lessons because she's got this like new sparkly horse, and it's just it just touches me. I relate to it so much because I live on a little animal sanctuary myself. I've got so many critters here, as you all know, and like I'm learning how to ride horses, and so it just hang on, I need to check on my cats. One of my cats jumped into the washing machine and then couldn't get itself out, so crisis averted. Speaking of critters, yeah, so that's something I really love about Exile, is how she's just always around these really cute magical creatures and how they're like rehabbing them, and like how much I relate to that as an animal lover and an equestrian myself. So plans for today: work, and then I have to go out to the farm because my rooster is apparently attacking people, but just one person. I should reframe that. Attacking one person. He's not attacking anybody else. And like I have gone and tried to provoke him to try to get him to attack me and see if he's actually an aggressive rooster, but I don't think it's an aggressive rooster. I think that this one person has done something to trigger something in him. So I'm going tonight to go into the coop with this person and see what he does and see if we can start correcting his behavior. So I'm doing that after work, and then hopefully I will be able to continue to get some reading done. For now, it's coffee time because, like, whew, this time change is we're not friends. We're not friends. Cluck, 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 cluck. It is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, and I'm done with work for the day. I have the night off. I don't have to go to any barns or farms tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm checking my garden, my little butterfly garden, because last fall I planted like 75 bulbs of like tulips and crocus and other spring blooms. And I want to see if any of them are coming up yet. And then I'm making taco salad for dinner. And I'm spending the rest of the evening reading to my little heart's delight. So come on, let's go look at the garden. It is the next day. It's Thursday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to be working on eating this parfait I made, this yogurt parfait that I made for my lunch here. Last night, I finished Exile by Shannon Messenger, and it was so good. I don't know what I'm going to rate it yet because I want to put it through my compile system, so I thought that we could do that together. So to rate my books this year, I've been using like a modified compile system. Compile was originally put together by the Book Roast, and then Sant Reads also did like a version of it, and so I've kind of combined the two to make a version that I like to use for my books and book data trackers. So I'm trying to open it up here, and while that's opening, I did go to the library and pick up my next two middle grades. I have Brightstorm by Vashti Hardy and Green Glass House by Kate Milford. Brightstorm is the middle grade monthly pick for this month, and then Green Glass House is on my Serious About Series list. If you haven't seen that video, boom, there it is. I think I'm going to pick up Brightstorm next because it's a little shorter than Green Glass House. And, you know, it's the March book, so I think this is what I'm going to read next for middle grade March here this week. Okay, my tracker is open up. Let's go to the call pile, put in Exile. Okay, for characters, I'm going to give the characters a 7. Maybe an 8. Yeah, I'm going to give the characters an 8. Maybe a 9. Yeah, we're going to go with 9 because they were solid enough that I remembered them over a year later, and they had some pretty good development in this book. Yeah, we're going to go with a 9 for that. For atmosphere, the atmosphere in this one was solid. I want to say it wasn't as solid as the first book because she's kind of gotten away from like describing the setting and everything. That was pretty hardcore in the first book, really especially emphasizing all of like the crystal buildings and how they're all like see-through and all of that. Like that kind of, she kind of stepped away from that a little bit in this book, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but I didn't get quite the same level of atmosphere in this one as I did in the first one. So for atmosphere, we're going to do a 6. For writing, the writing improved immensely. Some of the little quirks from the first book were gone, and I thought the writing was great. I didn't see any glaring issues with it, really. So I'm going to give it an 8, because while there weren't any glaring issues, it also wasn't particularly beautiful or anything like that. It was just solid, right? So we'll give it an 8. For plot, I thought the plot was interesting. I really liked how with the Black Swan, we're kind of still wondering whether the Black Swan is the good guy or the bad guy. Who are they? What do they want? I liked the progression of the events. I thought it was exciting. You know, I'm going to give plot a 9. And I'm sure after I watch other people's reviews of this book, I'll find reasons to lower that rating. But just my initial gut is 9. Okay. Now we're on to intrigue. So intrigue is a little weird. I'm never really totally sure how to rate this or what this is actually supposed to mean. How I interpret it is how well the book kept your attention and how immersed you were in the story and how interested you were in seeing like plot and character development. Honestly, it was a 10 for me. So 10. Okay, logic. There were some unanswered questions that I had. There were some things that made me kind of go, that doesn't really make sense. Not as bad as the first book. Actually, some of the stuff from the first book is starting to make more sense in this second book. But there were still some moments of, maybe they'll be cleared up in the third book. Who knows? But I'm going to give logic a 7. And then the last one is enjoyment. And I felt the full range of emotions while reading this book. I felt sad, I felt angry, I felt happy, I was entertained, I laughed out loud, I teared up a little at the end. 10. It's a 10 for me. All right, so that leaves us with a call pile score of 8.43 and a rating of 4 stars. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. So my original plan for today was, I've got work. Drop Maggie off for a groom. And then I was going to go to the barn and work outside with Dolly some more. But it's raining. It's looking like working with Dolly some is not going to be the best plan. So, reading, I guess.
It's Friday, and tonight I'm doing some reading sprints with Mr. Francie on his channel. We're going to start doing a series of late night reading sprints for those of you who might be night owls. Like tonight we're doing 10 to 1 a.m., 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I've got some popcorn here to snack on while we read. And I started Brightstorm last night. Brightstorm is about a pair of twins, Maddie and Arthur, and they live in this world. The city's called Lundtown, which I think it's supposed to be sort of like London. It's like a sci-fi steampunky universe. Arthur is missing his arm, and he has an iron arm that Maddie made for him because she's an engineer. And their dad is missing. He supposedly died on an expedition, and so the kids want to board a new airship and go looking for him. And it's very much giving me the Hatmakers. It's very much giving me Frostheart, because both those books had that theme of like a parent goes out on a trip and goes missing, and now the kids want to go find the parent. And the airships are like sort of like, what do you call them? I guess in today's world we'd call them blimps or like hot air balloons. And the society has this group of people called explorers who are exploring and trying to find new worlds and new areas. So the kids have auditioned to be a part of a crew with the youngest explorer of all time, Miss Culpepper. And she's accepted them as part of the crew, and now they have to just get to the ship in time to depart with the rest of the crew. And that's where I'm at. So far, I like it. I'm having a bit of trouble with the pacing because it just jumps right in and is really fast paced. And it doesn't really take a lot of time to establish the universe or to establish the characters. Like, it just jumps right into the story. And I almost wondered, I actually looked to see, like, was there a first book in this series that I don't know about, or a prequel or something? Because I felt like the writer was kind of acting like we already knew the information about the world and the characters. Like there was a previous book that had already established it or something. But no, like this is the first one in the series. So I'm having a bit of an issue with that pacing. But otherwise, it's been a fun read. And I'm on page like 84, and we'll see how much I get done with sprints here tonight. Hello! It is Saturday, and I am in the Starbucks line. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I don't even care. I need caffeine. I had sprints with Miss Francie last night, and then I went to bed like around 2:30 in the morning, and then I got up at like 10:30, and then I took a nap. And like I'm just starting my day. I'm just getting going really here. 2 in the afternoon,
and I absolutely need coffee. So here we are, Starbucks line it is. I did make some progress on Brightstorm last night during sprints. I read about 100 pages. And I'm enjoying it. I think that there are still some issues around world building and pacing for me. Like, there's not enough world building. I feel like this is a fairly short book. Like, it's an average book. It's around 300 and some pages, but I feel like it needs to be longer, especially since it's the first book in a series, and I'm not getting a good sense of the world building. I'm just not. What else can I say about it? I'm also really not getting a lot from the characters. Like, there are a lot of different people on this airship with Maddie and Arthur, and the only ones that I'm really getting to know, there's only like 4 of them, but there's lots of characters, and they keep mentioning these different character names, and I'm like, who is that? Like, who is that? What role do they play? I don't even know. And so I think that this book would be better if it was longer, if there was more time spent on getting to know the characters and getting to do some better world building, because it just feels all like action right now, and it's not making me feel anything at an emotional level, and I'm really not feeling too attached to the characters. The action is fun, the plot is fun, and it's interesting. It's like Around the World in 80 Days. It's like Frostheart. It's like, it's a pretty good adventure story, but I want more. I want more. So yeah. So today I have to go clean stalls at the barn, and then I'm just spending the rest of the weekend grading student papers and doing chores around the house. Like, I need to run laundry and just some other, housework. And that's basically going to be my weekend. Hopefully I get some reading done in there, and I think I'll be able to finish Brightstorm, at least Brightstorm for middle grade March. So that's the plan here today and tomorrow, really. So fun times. Hey, it's Monday, so I mostly spent the weekend just cleaning and reading, and I did finish Brightstorm, so let's go ahead and put it through the pile system. Excuse my piles of books back here. We're a booktuber, it's life. All right, pile, Brightstorm. Characters. For the most part, I felt like the characters were pretty one-dimensional, with the exception of Arthur and Harriet. So like Arthur had some depth. You could see like his strengths and his weaknesses. Harriet, I loved. She was my favorite part of this book, was Harriet. She was such a wonderful, warm, nurturing, strong, adventurous, smart woman. And and I loved her. Loved her. But the rest of them, there was really only one thing that you could say about them, if that even. Like, there were several crew members on this airship, and I didn't know anything about them. Like, I think Gilly was one. Like, they kept bringing up Gilly, and I'm like, who is Gilly? Like, what? Gilly was just a name. Gilly was just a name. That was it. And like, Maud was an engineer. End of story. The one guy had weird eyebrows. End of story. Felicity's feet were quirky. Like, end of story. You know what I mean? Like, there's just one thing that you learned about them. They were very one-dimensional, unlike Miss Pie back here, who's very deep, very deep. Okay, so honestly, for characters, it's a 5. Ooh, I know. All right, atmosphere. I liked the steampunk elements in the atmosphere, and I liked what we did learn about the world, but I felt like there was not enough world building to really get a full sense of this universe that we're in. Like, Vashti Hardy gave you just enough to understand the story and nothing more. And to be fully absorbed in the universe, I needed that more. I liked the wintry vibes when they actually got to South Polaris, like that cold, icy polar explorer atmosphere. But again, I wanted more. It's 5. Writing. Writing was solid. There wasn't anything glaringly disruptive about the writing style. There also wasn't anything that made me pause and go, oh, that was beautiful. So I would say that it was solid, and I will give the writing an 8. Plot was fun. It was adventurous. It was exciting. I didn't love how things wrapped up with the bad guy, or like the culmination of the motive for why the bad person did what the bad person did. I didn't love that. I would have done it a little bit differently, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as much. Like, that's just the feeling that I kept getting from this book. It's just, I need more. Like, I need more. Like, she did well, and I wanted her to take it to great. You know what I mean? So for plot, like I said, it was solid. It was fun. It was adventurous. It was probably the strength of this book. So I will give that an 8. Intrigue. Intrigue was good. It kept my attention. And because there was not a whole lot of like character development or world building, I did continue reading it because I kept wanting her to give me more. So I don't know if that really counts as intrigue or not, like that, you know, keeping me reading, keeping me interested. But the plot and the pacing was nice. I kind of put pacing in both plot and intrigue because they're so interconnected in that area. So the pacing was fast. It was very fast-paced story. I think I would have liked it had it slowed down a bit and we'd had more time to develop things. But also for a middle grade audience, I think the pacing was good because that might be the kind of thing that appeals more to a 12-year-old than it would to me in my 30s. So I'm going to give Intrigue a 7. Logic. This was very logical. I didn't see any issues with the logic. There weren't any parts that made me go, I don't get that, or why did they do that, or that doesn't make sense. Everything the characters did was in line with their character, mostly because they were one-dimensional, so it wasn't hard to do to make things in line with their character. And the plot, I didn't find any holes or anything that was weird or anything like that. So logic, I'm going to give a 9. Enjoyment. I feel bad because this book is so hyped and it's so beloved by some of the people that I really love on BookTube. But I didn't enjoy this as much as others seem to enjoy it. I wasn't there emotionally. There wasn't enough character development for me to get into this book emotionally, at an emotional level. There was like a tragic part in this story, even a really tragic part where someone dies. And the characters are like, well, they would want us to carry on. So, and there was no time spent processing that death, feeling the grief, they just moved along. Like, you know, it didn't get me at an emotional level. And that makes it hard for me to feel like I am fully absorbed by this story. It makes it hard for me to care about what's happening in the story. It makes it hard for me to feel joy when things happen, good things happen in the story. It just was very meh for enjoyment, to be perfectly honest. It's a 6. All right, let's see what that ends up being for the Caw Pile score. And it is a 6.86, which is a 3-star. I do think that some people will really, really enjoy this. I do think that a middle grade audience would really, really enjoy this. Will I continue with the series? I don't think so. Again, because I don't care enough about it. Like, I didn't care about it enough at an emotional level to be like, oh, I can't wait for the next book in the series. I feel bad because I feel like I'm missing something is what it is. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, what am I missing? That so many people loved this story, gave it 5 stars, new all-time favorite, etc., etc. What am I missing that I didn't get that when I read this? If you know what I'm missing, tell me down below. This is what makes reading so interesting, how different books hit differently for different people. All right. Well, that was my middle grade March reading vlog. I hope that you enjoyed it. I am planning to do more vlogs in the future, and vlogs that will have a nice balance between lifestyle and reading. So if you like these, stay tuned. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because that bell will let you know when I post new vlogs. Let me know down below if you have read either Exile or Brightstorm and what you thought of them. And if you just want to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave me a unicorn emoji for the alicorn in Exile. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!